Good evening, I'm Rena Ninen. On a day of drama in the Senate and demonstrations in the streets, Brett Kavanaugh was confirmed as the 114th Justice of the Supreme Court.
The nomination of Brett M. Kavanaugh of Maryland to be an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States is confirmed.
The final vote, 50-48, was the closest confirmation vote for a Supreme Court nominee since 1881. Kavanaugh was sworn in at the Supreme Court this evening by Chief Justice John Roberts and retired Justice Anthony Kennedy, who Kavanaugh now replaces. President Trump on Twitter congratulated the Senate for confirming his, quote, great nominee. Demonstrations for and against Kavanaugh were held in Washington and across the country today, exactly 1 month before the congressional midterm elections. Nancy Cortez is on Capitol Hill.
Vote him out! Vote him out!
As protesters from both sides chanted at the Supreme Court
Vote him out! Vote him out!
And the Capitol,
November is coming!
The Sergeant at Arms will restore order in the gallery.
narrowly confirming 53-year-old Brett Kavanaugh as Vice President Mike Pence officiated.
On this vote, the ayes are 50, the nays are 48.
The vote capped a fractious, emotional 88 days after Kavanaugh was hit with sexual misconduct allegations dating back to high school and college.
But I have never done this to her or to anyone.
Even this morning, with the confirmation all but secured, Democrats urged the GOP to reconsider.
I frankly don't know whether Judge Kavanaugh wasn't telling the truth or legitimately doesn't remember what happened because he was so intoxicated.
I have no doubt that he will undermine women's rights on the Supreme Court.
Republicans argued the claims against Kavanaugh, raised at the last minute, could not be proven.
I believe the Senate confirmation process has become a shameful spectacle and a disservice to everyone involved.
Kavanaugh has spent the last 12 years as a federal appeals court judge and served as White House counsel for George W. Bush. His nomination was championed by the Federalist Society and other conservative groups that see in him a chance to move the court to the right. An already bitter battle made all the more explosive because it came at the height of the Me Too movement.
Friends of mine who I never knew they were assaulted. I never knew their pain, never knew of their trauma. But at this moment in American history, they felt like they had to come forward.
I tried to yell for help. When I did, Brett put his hand over my mouth to stop me from yelling.
The lawyers for Christine Blasey Ford say despite today's outcome, she is still glad she came forward.
She's given a voice to hundreds of thousands of women across the country, across the world, who have been sexually assaulted. So those survivors have a voice, and they can look to Dr. Ford as someone who had the courage to stand up, and it has caused other women to find the courage to also stand up and say, I'm a survivor.
Senate leader Mitch McConnell said the controversy may have helped his party, too.
In retrospect, kind of glad they did it, because what it's done is the one thing we were unable to do ourselves, which is to fire up our own base going into the election a month from now.
McConnell added that the single most important thing his Republican majority has done the past 2 years is to confirm a slew of conservative federal judges. His Democratic counterpart Chuck Schumer told supporters that if they are angry about what happened here, the best thing they can do is to vote in next month's midterm elections. Rena?
A good message for all American voters. Nancy, thank you.